want to share one idea about doing your best and giving your best effort so that you can always give your best that I learned from former University of Tennessee women's head basketball coach Pat Summitt. I'm Dr. David Geyer, orthopedic surgeon and sports medicine expert. I share lessons and stories from some of the world's greatest coaches and athletes so that you can become a champion in sports, business, and life. Pat Summitt is one of the greatest coaches of any sport, men's or women's, of all time. As women's basketball coach at the University of Tennessee, Summitt won 8 national championships. She won almost 1,100 games in her career. She was absolutely amazing. Now, she, just from what I can tell about her, reading about her, has to be one of the most competitive people I have ever heard about. It makes sense at that level and that level of success to be competitive, right? Well, one of the lessons that I've learned about what helps you be that competitive is that you've got to do your best in everything you do. There was a story about how Pat Summitt, in one of the games Tennessee played, they lost to Vanderbilt at Vanderbilt. And Vanderbilt's typically not thought to be a great athletic school. This great, amazing Tennessee team loses to the Vanderbilt Commodores. It was the first time they had ever lost to Vanderbilt. So then they drive back to the Tennessee campus. At one point, one of the players asks, "Where are we eating?" And Summitt says something to the effect of, "Eating? We can't eat. I'd be afraid we'd all choke." So no post-game meal for the Tennessee basketball team. But they get back to the campus at Knoxville at about 2 in the morning. Players get off the buses, grab their bags, start walking like they're going back to their dorms. Pat Summitt says, "Oh, no. We're going to my office and we're going to watch game tape." It's 2 in the morning. All the players, tired as they can be, are in Pat Summitt's office. She gives them all a piece of paper and a pencil. They watch the entire game, and every player has to write down every single time they didn't run full out. So 2 hours later, it's now 4 in the morning. Players think that, all right, now finally we're going to go home. Oh no. Pat Summitt has them go to the locker rooms where their dirty uniforms from that Vanderbilt game earlier in the night are sitting on the floor. They have to put back on their sweaty, dirty uniforms and hit the gym. She makes them run suicide drills, those sprints up and down the court, and they have to run suicides for every time on their sheet of paper that they didn't run full out. Some of those players 15 times were on the list. They had to do 15 suicide drills. Again, it's 4 or 5 in the morning. They're finally done at about 6 a.m. And Pat Summitt says, "Oh, no. You still have to go to your 7:50 classes." Of course, this gets in the paper. The president of the university calls Pat Summitt and says, "Hey, I don't know about all this." But Pat Summitt wanted to make one point, and I think this is really important for us. She wasn't upset that they lost to Vanderbilt. She was upset that they didn't put in the effort and they didn't execute. And I think that's a big lesson for whatever it is that we do, be it in school, be it in our work, be it in training in sports. We have to put in the effort. I've said in a lot of these videos that it's not necessarily always about winning. It's about doing the best that you can in every way, putting in the effort. Only you know if you put in as much effort as you possibly can. I had a student just yesterday in my practice. She's a terrific athlete, but she's even better as a student. And she was telling me, we were waiting on a brace to get made, and so she was telling me about her exams. And she had been doing really well in all her classes, so it's time for the midterm exam. And because her grades were so good, she still had to take the exam, but she could drop the lowest score. Well, she didn't need to drop low score. She already had a grade that was good. So she just basically went into this class, this test, and didn't study for it. And I think she got like a 79. And she told me that was a wake-up call, that she couldn't just show up without doing any work, without putting in the effort, and expect to have a good outcome. That's a great lesson for all of us to learn. Basically, a 14-year-old high school student gets this, and this is something we can all learn from Pat Summitt. Are we doing everything in our business to be as good as we can? Are we working hard, researching the people we're trying to sell to, or researching the competition to see what we can do to get better? Is it working harder and harder, making a few extra sales calls? At school, is it putting in that extra hour on your presentation that you're going to give in front of the class? If it's sport, is it a little bit more free throw shooting at the end of practice, or running a few more drills. Remember Carly Lloyd training on the morning of Christmas Day every single year. Are you putting in the effort? If you are, Pat Summitt would be thrilled with you. But whatever it is you do, figure out ways to execute in every day, in every practice, in every circumstance. Even if it's not performing, it's getting ready every single day. That's what I want you to learn from legendary Tennessee basketball coach Pat Summitt. If you like videos like this, click the video below for much more helpful information. Subscribe. I have all kinds of videos that can help you become a champion in anything you want to do.